Okay, everyone, recording is also in progress, and we'll share a copy of the recording as soon as we are done. Okay, I hope everybody can see my screen. So as I said, this is just going to be a very brief introduction to what is open finance. And the idea is really to, put some common terminology in place so that, we understand what is open finance, what is open banking. So open finance, open banking are really interrelated systems where banks, fintechs, and other financial sector players can provide third-party access to financial data through the use of APIs. So when we look at the evolution of these systems, we started off with open banking, which was, as the name suggests, limited just to banks. And it was a way for banks to share information for account opening, for KYC sharing between themselves. And then we saw that term expand to include other financial sector players, as well as other financial products such as insurance, pensions, and even securities market products such as shares, as well as investment accounts. And this is something that has been becoming more and more popular because it allows a larger variety of products and services to be available to consumers, end consumers, both individuals as well as to micro, small, and medium enterprises. And then the final evolution, which is being carried out in a couple of countries, is open data, which allows for sharing of information beyond the financial sector. So, for example, allowing e-commerce players to share the data on their platforms about customer behavior, about purchase patterns, about SME supplier patterns with financial institutions so that you can provide new services such as point of sale loans, as well as point of sale working capital facilities. So what are some of the challenges that open finance is trying to address? And these are, not comprehensive, but it's really a summary of what we are seeing happening globally. We are seeing that open finance is trying to solve the legacy systems challenges. We are seeing that it is moving a focus away from products to customers. It's enabling easier customer identification and the development of newer KYC onboarding processes as well as journeys. It is trying to solve financing gaps for underserved segments, especially for micro, small, and medium enterprises. It is trying to solve for the lack of credit history, which is something that affects a lot of customers in developing markets, and especially markets that don't have very deep credit information systems. And then finally, it is trying to solve inefficient and expensive operations by using third-party services, by using more agile systems that fintechs and other players have, so that banking can be provided at a more affordable as well as cheaper price point. And this is really what we are seeing happen globally, where open finance or open banking, and I'm going to use this interchangeably, is now present in nearly every market in every continent. So if you look at North America, if you look at South America, Eurasia, Africa, and of course our neighborhood of ASEAN, you will see some form of open banking or open finance initiative already underway or already achieving significant traction. And that takes us to the Philippines, where open finance was introduced by the BSP a couple of years ago. And now I'll request my colleague Jovi Howe to come and share some of the perspectives of BSP on open finance, what's happened so far, and also some other thoughts that she would like to share with all of you online. Thank you. Jovi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sagar. Good afternoon, everyone. And again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. This afternoon actually marks a very exciting moment for all of us. Of course, from the BSP and our partner, the IFC, particularly for this open finance. And personally, I'm very keen on hearing from our two keynote speakers. But first, let us take a step back to our open finance journey here in the Philippines. Next slide, please. So since its formal inception in June of 2021, the BSP's Open Finance Framework serves as a key policy framework which to guide the development and implementation of open finance in the Philippines. With a goal of fostering innovation, encouraging co-opetition, and advancing financial inclusion, the BSP aims to empower financial consumers by giving them better control over their personal data and financial data as well. With open finance, it brings with it the potential of catalyzing the development of products and services that are most responsive to customer needs. All of these while ensuring the safety and security of the personal data. So for the BSP, our approach in terms of the development of a robust and scalable open finance ecosystem is to build capacity among relevant stakeholders, including, of course, the BSP, craft commensurate regulations, and conduct collaborative engagements with our industry partners. All these lead to today's event, and we look forward to all of you participating and, of course, coming up with very bright and novel ideas. Next slide, please. So now you might be asking, why is the BSP pushing open finance forward? Despite the roadblocks that we've had, which are to be expected, of course, given the scale and magnitude of this initiative, we remain committed and undeterred in forging ahead because we know how impactful open finance can be and will be in terms of advancing financial inclusion in the Philippines and in promoting the financial health of Filipinos. So we want to do this because open finance is not just a technological advancement. It's a step. In fact, it is a huge leap in radically transforming the future of financial services. But alongside this is the recognition of the risks in the use of emerging technologies and exploration of innovative and untested territories enabled through open finance. Next slide, please. So given these considerations, we have made cautious but forward strides in terms of our implementation. We have recognized and constituted an industry-led transition group. We've also adopted and enhanced an implementation roadmap. And just last year, we launched an open finance pilot. These milestones mark our commitment to enabling a financial ecosystem that harness innovations in terms of allowing financial products and services to be accessible to all. Next slide, please. So now, in order to solidify the initial momentum of open finance initiatives, we hope to move forward with other succeeding initiatives in the roadmap. As you can see on your screen, we are now preparing for the pilot implementation of select use cases, as well as actively coordinating with our supervised entities towards its fruition. We're now engaging with our peers in the financial system. So that includes other financial regulators like the SEC and the IC through the Financial Sector Forum on matters relating to the implementation and integration of open finance initiatives. Those in the pipeline also include the constitution of the Open Finance Advisory Board, the establishment of the regulatory framework for the registration of TPPs or third-party providers. And of course, we also need to build capacities for the regulators, the central bank included. So we're now exploring the SupTech solutions that involve not only the use of innovative and cutting-edge technology, but more so institutionalize a regulatory digital mindset for collaboration and data sharing. So your output from this hackathon will demonstrate not only to the BSP, but to other industry stakeholders as well, the relevance of these initiatives and the benefits it can bring to Filipinos everywhere. From this moment forward, you will help shape the future of open finance in the Philippines. And with that, we thank you for being here and for racing with us to the future. Best of luck to everyone. Thank you. Back to you, Sagar.
Thanks, Jovi, for that very nice overview of the open finance journey so far. Next, I'm going to invite our first keynote speaker, Shirley, who is with the First International Bank of Israel. I'm also going to request my colleague Odelia, to come on the screen, to briefly introduce Shirley and get the discussion started. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Sagar. Good afternoon, everyone. So indeed, we're very fortunate to have two international speakers with us today, briefing a bit and sharing their experiences with the different open finance, open banking experiences. And we're going to start with Shirley Shoham Klein, Head of Future Banking for the First International Bank from Israel. Phoebe have been an extremely strong pioneer in the country and in the region with everything that has to do with embracing and initiating open banking initiatives. And personally, Shiri has been working with the bank for the last 13 years, exploring diverse different roles from digital strategy to corporate development. And she's agreed to be with us today. So thank you, Shiri, for that. And we're going to start by, please, if you could walk us through Phoebe's journey with open banking from a business perspective, operational perspective, to the technical and regulatory compliance. How did it
Yes,
look
of
like? Where
course.
did you start it? Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much for having me and inviting me to speak here. I'm very excited to speak about open finance and open banking. I personally believe it's a game changer for the financial industry in Israel and all around the world. So it's really, thank you for that. Just to give you a quick context for who are we and what we do. So as you introduced me, I serve as the head of future banking, which basically means that I'm in charge of everything that is new and interesting. So that's digital data, strategy, innovation, and open banking for me incorporates all those words. It's very synergetic to everything that we do, and we look at it as a strategic initiative. We in Phoebe, Israel is a very concentrated and relatively small market. So there are 5 large banking groups, and we are the 5th in size, but we are a leader in capital markets. And the reason I'm telling you this, because it's directly linked to our position in open banking. Because we are relatively small and because we lead in capital markets, we decided to put open banking as really strategic initiatives for us. We look at it as a differentiator and a way for us to lead the market and give value to the customers, to our customers that have business and engagements with other financial institutions here. So we were the first to introduce open banking services to the Israeli market, the first bank at least, and we started with aggregation services. The regulation in Israel, similar to other places in the world, went in stages. So first we introduced the current accounts, the balances and the transactions, and then the credit card information, and then loans and deposits. And only recently the regulation introduced securities, which is like the last level of information that we can give the customers. And the vision is basically to present the customer with a holistic view of its financials as a general. And in advanced level, we give the high net worth customers a really in-depth analysis of their whole asset portfolio. So with that, we aim to bring value to the customer because it's the first time that he can look through the digital assets, through the banking app, a full view of its financials. And then on top of that, we offer insights. We were doing it through cooperations with fintech. I will speak about soon. And on top of the insights, we can offer value propositions to the customers. It's good for the customers because it's really personalized offers suitable for their state, and it's good for the bank because we can increase the engagement of our customers with us. So that's the view we took on open banking, and it's a journey. You said journey, and it really describes it correctly, because we started 3 years ago, and the regulation is in baby steps, and then we have to introduce it to the market, and we have to educate the market of how to use it and what value does it bring. But we definitely believe it's the future. We invest a lot of our efforts in this. And the last point which I wanted to talk about really relates to the cooperations with fintech and startups, which in generally it's part of our innovation strategy. We believe that again, in our position, it's the best way to bring innovation inside. And really, open finance and open banking is the ideal platform for this kind of cooperations, because really it brings a lot of data, and startups and fintechs in the ecosystem can use this data in order to, again, bring insights and value to the customers, analyze the data for the bank. Really, it's for us, it's a win-win situation with the customers, the bank, and the startups. And one of the ways to do it is really through, we call it like a fintech day, you call it a hackathon, but it's really introducing and explaining our challenges to the ecosystem, and then asking fintechs and startups to come and offer their solutions that can be presented to the bank's customers and can help us with our business challenges.
Thank you, Shirley. Can you maybe share a bit more about the collaboration that you indeed have with fintechs? How does it look like in terms of stages? Which new products or services were you able to launch given that collaboration?
Well, we do it in many fields, not just open banking, as you know, but basically we have a business challenge, and then we go and look in the market what solutions are available, which startups can offer a suitable solution, and then we bring to the table the startup, the business. The business people, it can be from sales, from the commercial division, from capital markets, whoever is relevant, and the IT and technology people. And then we start with doing the minimal proof of concept or pilot that can prove everyone that it's working, and give us to be comfortable with the cyber aspects and technological aspects of the solution, and give the business the comfort for the results that it's actually working and solves the business problem. And then if the pilot or the proof of concept is successful, then we do an integration process, and gradually launch it to customers. We did it in many cases. Around open banking, we are doing it with a more mature startup that we have, which is Personetics. It's an Israeli startup that started with Israeli clients, and then became global, which is, I think, like the aim of every startup around the world. And they are connected to the open banking data. When the customer give consent, then the data that is coming from the various financial institution is flowing to their system, and then they standardize all the data, and then analyze it and enrich it, and then they can give the customer insights about their full financial situation.
Fantastic. Thank you. And maybe just last quick question. What do you think is the key challenges that you've experienced with this journey? I know there's a lot, but what are the main one you can share?
The key challenges, basically, I think we can look at two key challenges. First is that it's new to the market. You need to educate the market. You need to explain the public what they have to do and what value will come from that. And it's difficult because initially, it doesn't work that well. So if a client enters and then it doesn't work, and then, they see a loader instead of, the process that you designed, it's difficult. So that's one challenge. And the other challenge is the network challenge, because as you know, it's a standard, and everybody needs to look at the standard the same way. So the data will be standardized, and we will be able to show the customers data from another banks or credit card companies or whatever. And the standard is not that clear all the time. So every financial institution interprets it a little bit differently. So it's very important to have a mechanism that these conflicts are solved, and that all institutions interprets the standard in the same way. Because then another challenge is the way to check it. It's very difficult to have an environment for the checking process. So it all happens in production with real customers. So that's a challenge. But again, it's a journey, and it's improving, and it's going to change the world.
Thank you so much, Shirley. That is a great statement to end with. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you
Over
very much
to
for
you.
having me. Have a great day.
Thank you, Shirley. Over to you, Sagar.
Thanks a lot, Odelia, and thanks again, Shirley, for sharing your experience and how you've used demo days and hackathons to engage with the fintech sector to find solutions. We had another speaker who was going to present the fintech experience and what they got out of participating in hackathons. But unfortunately, the speaker had to drop off for an emergency. So I'm going to request Hugh Davies of Ozone API to share some of the perspectives of that speaker, because it was Ozone API that facilitated the hackathon that he was a participant of. So Hugh, could I request you to come in and share some thoughts on Mohammed's company, what was the problem that they were trying to solve, what was the solution that they came up with, and then their journey to market and how they use the platform of the sandbox and the hackathon to really go to market. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Saga. And yeah, hi everyone. Apologies that I'm not Mohammed. He was definitely intending to be with you all today, but had a last-minute emergency. But I'm Hugh Davis. I'm one of the founders and CEO at Ozone API. And yeah, we recently ran a very similar hackathon in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in partnership with the Central Bank and the Financial Academy, which is part of the Central Bank. And I'll maybe just start with a little bit of context around open finance in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I love what Shirley said at the end of her session there, that this will change the world, and I mean we certainly believe that. And in Saudi Arabia, open banking, open finance has been driven with a very big vision in mind. So the kingdom has a big bold vision called Vision 2030 to transform the economy and society, and open banking is a very clear part, and it's a pillar of that overall vision. In fact, in defining the open banking framework, the central bank tied it back. Every part of it ties back to that overall national vision around transforming the economy and society. So it has some very clear objectives in mind. And one of those is about accelerating innovation, the creation of new companies and fintechs and innovators, and job creation and investment into the market. And the kingdom really wants to be a talent pool in this open banking space as well, which is why the Finance Academy has got very involved. So together with the Finance Academy and the Central Bank, we ran a hackathon. Mohammed's business, which is called Lende, were one of the participants, and they won the hackathon with a fantastic proposition. And it's very similar hackathon. So using a model bank, which we'll talk through shortly, to bring to life real propositions. And the problem statement that Mohammed and his team were looking to solve was how to increase access to credit for businesses. So this was about access to credit for particularly sort of high growth, but early stage entities. And what they did was they used the model bank to demonstrate how they could leverage bank information to help create a much more complete picture of a business and help with credit decisioning. So the understanding the cash flow of the company and the affordability of loan repayments to enable a much better and more robust lending decision, and have that at the heart of a lending marketplace, bringing together investors with borrowers. So they brought to life the proposition and pitched it as part of the hackathon. It was a tremendous submission. I think the judges were all really blown away by it. And since then, they've actually been able to turn this into a real business. In fact, I think they're just a few days away from the first loan being fully executed through the platform. So since that hackathon a few months ago, they've been formalizing their partnerships with some of the banks in the sector, building out the platform at scale so that they've got a full marketplace, bringing together investors and potential borrowers, and they're now live. So the first loan is just in the process of being executed. It's a shame Mohammed isn't here to bring it to life himself as the founder and CEO. He's obviously incredibly passionate about this, but it's a great example of where this kind of hackathon has helped demonstrate real innovation in the market and has resulted in the creation of a really exciting new company that are partnering with a number of the banks in the market. So Sagar, I'll perhaps hand it back to you, and yeah, hopefully that was a little bit of helpful context around how this sort of initiative has been helpful in other markets.
No, thanks a lot, Hugh. It definitely was, and I think it's a great source of inspiration, for all the participants here, and we hope many such examples will come out of the Philippines hackathon as well, the Open Finance PH hackathon. So moving on, I'm going to request Meg from Ozone API to come in and take us through a quick overview of what the hackathon is going to look like. Meg, could I request you to come in now?
Sure, Sagar. Did you mean like talk about the technical bits, or did you mean an overview?
Yes. So the overview is already on the screen, and these are some of the important dates for all of you to remember. So the virtual hackathon kicks off today. As soon as we're done with this presentation, it'll go on till the 26th of July. So you should get your submissions in by then. The first round of judging will take place from the 29th to 31st of July, and then the finalists will be invited to a demo day, which will take place at the BSB Central office, the headquarters, on the 7th of August. And there's going to be an illustrious panel of judges who will review the final finalists, and then of course the awards will take place. So that's the important dates for all the participants, and of course you will get a copy of this as soon as we finish with the webinar, and a copy will also be available on the Open Finance Hackathon, PH Hackathon website. And so, Meg, maybe we can move on to the next part, which is the technical overview, and then after that's done, I think we'll come back to the team introductions, the video that's been prepared for that.
All right. Let me go through let me go to the next slide. Sagar, if you're sure. There.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for the teams that are here, thank you and welcome. Basically, we're very excited that you're part of the hackathon. You guys will have access to the Model Bank API sandbox to create your proof of concept. What we basically have is a Model Bank, so it comes with a reference implementation of the UK Open Banking Standards. UK Open Banking Standards, the oldest, most stable banking standards, and therefore it's the example that we're using it has all of the tools that you could use to enable you to test everything. So the developer portal that I'm going to show you in a bit basically contains, endpoints, usage examples, authentication guides, all of those things that you need to be able to build your proof of concept. It contains sample code and rich synthetic data sets. You don't have to worry that you're dealing with actual data here. You're actually dealing with synthetic data, but is realistic data that you could play around with. And basically, it delivers all required functionality to support your identified use cases. So all the 3 use cases that we have for the hackathon is basically supported by the model bank. If we could move to the next slide. There. So I'm going to show you in a bit what the developer portal looks like and maybe give you a little bit of a walkthrough. But our developer portal, the Ozone API developer portal, basically contains videos. You could see the left panel there. We basically have the guides and the overviews for how account information flows, how payment information flows, and so on. And if we go to the next slide, please. I know that there's a lot more questions that you might have. There are people that already registered. There are people that have questions. Please take note of the email address here. I'll do a short demo of the developer portal, a little bit of the Postman, a little bit of the model bank, and then that way you guys could take a look and see what it looks like. But we might not have enough time for Q&A, so please feel free to reach out to us using this email address. So Sagar, don't mind giving me share permissions? Yeah. Can I share now?
I think you should be able to share now. Could you just check, Meg?
Yep, I think I can. Hold on.
Okay,
There
great.
you go. See my screen?
Yes.
Everyone see my screen? All right. So we're going to drop the developer portal link in the chat in a bit. But as you access the developer portal, basically see the overview, account information, um, payment information overview is also there, as well as confirmation of funds. But what's really critical would be our Swagger files here. So you could see basically how each and every single item, headers, endpoints, examples would be there. And it's again to support your proof of concept, right? So we don't just go with that, or we don't just outline account information. We actually outline payment initiation, see all the endpoints, headers, and everything else would be there. You could see the list of items that we have there. It's quite a lot. So you could really just get into the details of everything. Not to mention the fact that if you click on resources, it actually helps you, one, look at the test bank, two, have video guides for you to be able to register. Because as you go and figure out how to do self-registration, right, you'll be linked to the self-service portal. There, I hope you guys can see it. You'd be asked to request access, and if you do, here. There are some people that have already registered. You can fill it out with your first name, last name, email address, your company name. Hopefully, it's the real one. And then the domain doesn't have to be a real domain. We're not validating, right? Just make sure that you have an HTTPS header there. But once you've registered, you'll be able to play around with it. And how it looks like in the Postman, in Postman, is like this. So you have a collection and it basically breaks it down from account information, payment information, down to confirmation of funds. And this would help you because basically we're going to show you how consent works in Postman. Starts off with that. And you basically go through each one just to mimic, how post account works or how get authorization works and so on. Not going to bore you with all the steps here, but another thing to note is that this is because the Postman collection basically might work for you. For us, we look at it we look at JSON, but you could easily just, convert it to any other language that is available or that is applicable to you and your teams. So that's a brief overview of the model bank, the tech or slash the technical sandbox, how it works, how you could register. But if you have questions, if you'd like to set up some time with us, anyone from the Ozone team, just so we could answer your questions or we could clarify some things for you, please feel free to reach out using the email address that was shown a little bit earlier. Also, I'd like to drop the developer portal link in the chat. And sorry, Sagar, how do I that in the here?
There should be a chat window on your screen, Meg, and you can just
Okay.
drop it in to everyone. So if you can drop the link
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
portal as well as
This
the email address that people can use for sending technical queries, the help desk email address.
I just did. I hope you guys can confirm that you could see that.
I can see it, and hopefully others can as well. Maybe we'll just wait for one or two. Okay, we're getting confirmations. Thanks for all the thumbs up, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And then
Okay.
that's it.
No, thanks a lot,
Back to you,
Meg.
Sagar.
Thanks, and please do send us any message if you have questions. And I think we come to the really exciting part of this launch, which is to share the details of all the registered participants. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have over 50 plus registrations, 50 plus teams. So it won't be possible to get through all of them, if we ask you to come on the screen. So we made a short video, which will hopefully give you a flavor of, your competition, who you'll have to out-innovate and outthink to win this hackathon. So let me just, share the names of all the participants. I hope you can all see my screen. Okay. I'm just going to replay that because I think it went by a little quickly. So just one more minute, just so that you can see all the names again very clearly. That is a lot of teams. Exactly 54 teams to be precise. And we have over 164 individuals in those 54 teams. So, we're really excited that all of you have shown so much interest in this hackathon. And, we are even more excited to see what are the kinds of innovative ideas and proof of concepts that you come out with over the next 2 weeks. So actually, we can end a bit early. We've covered most of the content that we wanted to take you through. I just wanted to quickly check with our colleagues at the BSP, with Joey, if there's any closing remarks that they have. If not, we can officially say that the hackathon is launched. Joey?
Yeah, Sagar. Thanks for preparing this wonderful launch for this hackathon. And of course, from the BSP, we're very glad that so many of you have shown interest. We're very excited to see all the use cases that you can come up with. And, as I mentioned earlier, all your innovative ideas. We're excited to see the top 6 teams will be given the chance to do a live presentation on demo day. As mentioned earlier by Sagar, that will be held in the BSP's head office here in Malate, Manila. And then, of course, Sagar, I'll let you probably run down the prize for the winner. I'm sure everyone is equally excited for that portion.
Yes, thanks for the reminder, Joey. That completely slipped my mind, and of course that is really important. So for the grand prize for one of the lucky teams that's online today will be a trip to the Singapore FinTech Festival. So for the members of the team, that will include delegate passes to the Singapore FinTech Festival. It will include economy round trip fare to Singapore, as well as 3 nights hotel accommodation. So that's going to be the grand prize that's sponsored by IFC for the winner. And for the other, finalists, don't despair. There'll be, some very interesting gift certificates that will be coming to you from the IFC. And of course, there's going to be certificates of participation, as well as a special certificate for the finalists that the BSP will be providing. So I think some very interesting prizes, and I hope these prizes, and of course, the opportunity to showcase your innovation, to the BSP will, motivate all of you to participate very actively in this. I see that there is a hand up from one of the participants. I apologize, that we currently don't have a plan for Q&A during this. So if you have any questions, please do send your questions to us again at the hackathon at openfinanceph.org email address, and we will definitely respond to all of you. Because of the number of participants here, unfortunately, we are not able to, take questions live. So with that, I'm just going to play one last video so that, we can see that the hackathon has officially been launched. 1 second, let me that out. Okay. Hopefully that's on all your screens. Let me just get rid of myself and go. Thanks everyone for joining the official launch of this hackathon. You will all get access, to the model sandbox as soon as we get off this webinar. And the clock has started, and we look forward to seeing all of your submissions on the 26th of July. Thank you again for all of the interest that you've shown, both by registering as well as by joining this webinar. And we are all very excited to see what you come up with. Thanks, everyone. Good luck. Yes. I'm going to stop recording and end the webinar now. Thanks. Bye. And best of luck to all the teams.